Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky and I like to read. Today I wanted to share with you an overview of a series that I have become obsessed with. That is The Prime Mating Agency by Regine Abel. This is an adult science fiction romance series about arranged marriages between human women and aliens of different species. As of right now, it is a 6-book series, and while it is a series and the common theme is arranged marriages through the Prime Mating Agency, they can be read as standalones. There are a couple instances where I would suggest reading one book before you read the next book, because there are Easter eggs and little small spoilers within the next book that sort of feature in the previous book. But if you don't, you're not going to be spoiled for too much of anything. So first I'm going to give you like a brief bare bones synopsis of each of the books so that you can get an idea of what's happening in each book. I'm not going to go too in depth. This is just going to be scratch the surface level what the synopsis is. So first we have I Married a Lizard Man. Do not be turned off by this cover. It may look ridiculous and corny, but it is a great book, let me tell you. So this is about Alex, who is a lizard man, and Susan, who is a human. She is the third daughter on this farming colony, and third daughters don't really get much. So she agrees to enter into an arranged marriage with Alex, whose people are on the brink of extinction. They really need to learn how to develop their food supply and increase their colony's production of food so that they can provide for them. And so Susan thinks, I like to farm, I'm knowledgeable in farming, he needs somebody to help his people, arrange the marriage, bing bang boom. Next we have I Married a Naga. This is about Zero and Serena. Zero is a Naga, he is a snake man, and Serena is a human. She is a hunter, and one day when she is on this planet trying to extinguish these parasite type creatures, she accidentally crosses the threshold into the snake people territory, and in order to not be killed for doing this, she agrees to enter into a marriage with Zero, and thus their relationship commences. Next up we have I Married a Birdman. This is about Dacus and Luana. Dacus is a birdman and Luana is a human. Her colony is under threat from a neighboring tribe of people, so she seeks out the help from the bird people colony, and when she is there, Dacus immediately knows that she is his mate, and so he agrees to enter into a marriage with her in order to provide her with the help that her people need. Next up we have I Married a Minotaur. This is about Zatric and Rihanna. In order to avoid a prison sentence, Rihanna agrees to enter into a marriage with Zatric, who is a Minotaur. And his tribe really is a very aggressive tribe of people. They really have to let out their aggression, otherwise they turn almost feral. And so she is there to try and figure out how she can help them with this. Now this is the one instance in which I would say I would suggest reading I Married a Birdman and then I Married a Minotaur, because some of the characters from I Married a Birdman will be featured in I Married a Minotaur. Next up we have I Married a Merman. This is about Echo and Nira. Echo is a merman obviously, and Nira is a human who is suffering from oxygen poisoning on her planet. She doesn't know that she comes from a species similar to the mer people. So she is slowly just dying and she's sick all the time. And she agrees to enter into a marriage with Echo, whose people need to reproduce because they're not thriving all that much. And she will go to this planet where the atmosphere is much more conducive to her lung capacity. And thus their romance commences. And lastly, we have the latest book in this series, I Married a Dragon. This is about Cedros and Kata. Cedros is a dragon and Kata is a human. Cedros needs somebody called an Aegea to really help regulate his moods and relieve his system of any toxins that he gets when he's battling poisonous creatures. So he really needs physical touch in order to heal him, otherwise he will go mad. And enter in Kata, who just happens to be his Aegea, and she agrees to enter into a marriage with him in order to provide provide him with the physical connection that he needs in order to thrive, as well as trying to discover who is mining this very rare stone and opening portals into different worlds, releasing dangerous creatures. I would suggest reading I Married a Naga before you read I Married a Dragon, because there is a slight Easter egg within I Married a Dragon that comes from I Married a Naga. The only constant character within all of these books is Keog, who is the facilitator for the Prime Mating Agency, and he brings the couples together. He is an empath, so he is able to sense if they're going to be a good match for each other. Sometimes he's very straightforward with it and says, yes, you will be a good match, and other times he's very vague about it and he's like, I'm not so sure. You can read them in whatever order you want, but do take into consideration the little slight connections within books that I did mention. And now I will answer some questions that I got over on Instagram, as well as just provide you with some of my own personal thoughts on this series. So the first question or comment I got was, I hear these aren't too spicy. That is true. They are not the spiciest of books. If you are going into this series expecting smut-filled stories, you're going to be disappointed, because most of these books are rather slow burn, and while there is good smut in them, it's not the majority of this series. I like to say these books are plot with good smut. It's good if you're invested in the character's relationship, but it's not an overwhelming amount of smut. Who is your favorite couple? So I've made this known. My favorite couple is Zero and Serena. I actually did an in-depth review of their story, I Married a Naga. I will link it down in the description if you want to hear my thoughts on that. I gave it 6 stars and I absolutely loved it, and they are still my favorite couple. Do I need to read these in order? And I already answered that previously, so I'm not going to go over it again. So this was an interesting question. Which female main character is your favorite? I think my favorite female main character would have to be Susan. She is just very smart and entrepreneurial, and she is just so competent in what she does, and she's so willing to help people to better themselves, and I really liked that about her character. Which book is the spiciest? Damn. I personally think I Married a Naga is the spiciest. I really liked the spice in that. It was a slow burn, so the sexual tension just built up. And when they did finally get around to the smut, I was digging it. I also think I Married a Minotaur would probably come in second, because there was some good smut in that one as well. What is your favorite thing about this series? So I am somebody who really likes slice of life, sweet, swoony characters with decent plot. And that is exactly what I get from these books. Most of them are slow burn. The male characters are all very sweet and swoony and protective. The smut is good, and there's a decent plot woven throughout. All these characters are very mature. For the most part, they communicate excellently, and that is what I look for in a romance. So that is why I was so enthralled with this series and why I continue to read them. And my favorite comment that I got was, who has the biggest? LOL, JK, oh no, I am going to answer this. So I am one of Regine Abel's patrons, so I get all the not suitable for work graphics that she puts out. Oh my gosh, I had to go through them and study who had the biggest, and I'm going to say that that would be Zatric from I Married a Minotaur. They're all got pretty good equipment, okay? Some of them have interesting features. Zatric, I would say, doesn't have the most inventive. He doesn't have a lot of stuff to make it a little extra, but he is a girthy boy. And if you aren't part of Regine Abel's Patreon and you like seeing alien peen, I will leave her Patreon link down below and you can sign up for it and get yourself some goodies. So if I were to rank these books from my most favorite to my least favorite, they would go like this: Naga, Lizard, Minotaur, Dragon, Merman, and Birdman. If I were to rank them based strictly on their plot, if you take away the romance aspect and just focus on the plot, I don't know why you would do that, but some people are plot-based readers and they enjoy that more. So if I were to rank it from the best plot to the least, I would say the best plot is Dragon, Lizard, Minotaur, Birdman, Merman, and Naga. If I were to rank them on the world that these creatures live in, because let me tell you, the worlds that Regine comes up with some of these atmospheres and planets that these people live on, blows my mind. I'm just like, my God, how does your brain come up with so much detail? It's amazing. So based on the world that these creatures live in, from my favorite to my least favorite, I would say it goes dragon, merman, birdman, naga, minotaur, and lizard. Now keep in mind that all of these rankings and answers are just my personal opinion and how I've perceived them. You might have a totally different ranking system, and that is fine. So if you've read any of these books, let me know down in the comments how you would rank them. I also did just want to mention that I have this alien romance reader shirt design available in my Etsy shop, which I will have linked below. I also have these designs that were specifically inspired by the Prime Mating Agency series. They are Regine Abel approved, and they will also be available in my Etsy shop if you're interested. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until my next video, read one of the Prime Mating Agency books for me. Bye.